going into Exodus, when we came out of Egypt, many of the enemies of the people had already made themselves known that they were our enemies, beginning with Amalek. So it says here, they fought against me without a cause, because they actually were numbered amongst us. And the only reason that they become our enemy is because they're the serpent by the way and the adder in the path and not written. It has nothing to do with anything that we did. It has everything to do with what the Most High has written them from the beginning. Here in verse 4 it says, for my love they are my adversaries, but I give myself unto prayer. For our love, because we received the love of the truth, as you can find in Revelation 7, that is the love that he's speaking of. Our people being among the numbered elect of Israel. And the fact that they're not, they have become our adversaries. It says, for my love they are my adversaries, but I give myself unto prayer. And they have rewarded me evil for good and hatred for my love. So there goes their doctrines right there. They reward you evil for good. They're acting as if they're good with you. They're acting as if their doctrine is teaching you the truth, but they have rewarded you evil for good. Many of them. There's so many different doctrines in Israelite camps and sects and different teachings, and it's impossible for... I don't understand how some people actually believe that all the camps are going to make it, or maybe just a certain amount of these camps or different groups teaching different things are going to make it. They've completely divided the truth up amongst our people and have completely rewarded us evil for good and hatred for my love. Here in verse 6 it says, set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. So that means that they're also of the synagogue of Satan. If he's writing here that let a Satan stand at his right hand, that tells you exactly who their father is. Where it's spoken of before, you are of your father the devil. Here it says, set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. So there goes the word judged. Again, also one of the root words that I speak of before. And it says, when he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. So they're actually giving their supplication unto the Most High, portraying to be, acting to be. But it says, let his sin become prayer. Let his prayer become sin. Verse 8 says, let his days be few, and let another take his office. So that's where we can refer to where it speaks of Judas Iscariot. Now as it continues on, it says, let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. So that goes also into the suicide of Judas Iscariot, where he had killed himself, so where he left his children fatherless and his wife a widow, and also as well as the tribe of Dan being without a heavenly father. And it says, let his children be continually vagabonds and beg. Let them seek their bread also out of their desolate places. This speaks of his offspring and his genealogy following. And it says, let the extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the strangers spoil his labor. So as I broke down before the lion's whelp prophecy that pertained to the tribe of Dan, and how Martin Luther King Jr. was I said before, was like the face of the lion's whelp prophecy, because he spoke out about poverty, about the Negro being languished in the corners of America society, and is struggling basically. And the reason that he cried out for being impoverished is the fact that the extortioner has caught all that he hath. Corporate America as well has broken down the Dan tribe and has kind of swallowed them up in all their possessions. Although they have consented with the thief and with the extortioner who is being spoken of. It says, let the extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the strangers spoil his labor. He has consented with him, but them as a nation of people have been swallowed up by corporate America as well. But the fact that they've been integrated with the Negro from the slave trade has caused for these things as well. Here in verse 12 it says, let there be none to extend mercy unto him, neither let there be any to favor his fatherless children. Let his posterity be cut off, and in the generation following let their name be blotted out. So how do we know that their generation was blotted out? From Revelation 7 verse 4 through 8, you will not find the tribe of Dan being mentioned among the elect of Israel. Verse number 14, let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with the Most High, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Let them be before the Most High continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. As I said before, blotted out of the book of the living by not being written amongst our people. because that he remembered not to show mercy, but persecuted the poor and needy man, that he might even slay the broken in heart. So they remember not to show mercy. Even in these last days, you have misleaders of the Dan tribe, misleading our people, not showing mercy. We have been persecuted and slaughtered as a nation of people. Our understanding of the book, we've been in a complete dead state. Now, among our people being the poor and needy, they have shown no mercy to our people. They have not shown any mercy by continuing these lies, continuing to keep our people in sin, continuing to join themselves with the oppressor. So they've showed no mercy in these last days at all by misleading our people into sin and going to get very many of our people killed with their false doctrines. Verse number 17, as he loved cursing, so let it come into him. As he delighted not in blessing, so let it be far from him. There was a brother who I posted some of his videos, whose name was referred to as King David, I believe. He posted how they're cursing our people through their garments. I did a video where I had also exposed some of Nate's witchcraft and sorcery that they're doing because they love cursing. They're cursing our people and lying to our people. You can I posted I shared some of his videos on my page if you want to go and see where it speaks of Zabak wearing with their garments and how you can compare them to some of the Luciferian garments or some of the Aleister Crowley garments that they continue to wear, which is part of cursing. Verse number 18, as he clothed himself with cursing, like as with his garment, so let it come into his bowels like water, and like oil into his bones. So there goes to clothe himself with cursing right there. Their clothing also is a curse. Verse number 19, let it be unto him as the garment which covereth him, and for a girdle wherewith he is girded continually. Let this be the reward of mine adversaries from the Lord, and of them that speak evil against my soul. But do thou for me, O God the Lord, for thy name's sake, because thy mercy is good, deliver thou me, for I am poor and needy, and my heart is wounded within me. So it goes also into the reproach that they've putting upon our people. They are continuing to misrepresent our people and have shown no mercy upon an afflicted people, a poor and needy people. As I said, they've been set up loftily above our people by the government. A lot of these brothers that are teaching are a part of even the counterintelligence program, working for the feds. Some of these Israelites are working for the feds. So I want to go also into 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, which goes hand in hand with Psalms 109. I want to begin here with verse number 3, where it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So as it speaks of that day shall not come, it's speaking of the day of the redemption of our people, where our captivity is turned back and we are gathered together and taken back to where we came from. And he says that day don't come except there come a falling away first. So this was happen. This verse is before the falling away, is before our people coming into the dead state and our people falling away from the knowledge of exactly who we are. So he said that day doesn't come except the falling away come, and then that man of sin be revealed. So not only are we being revealed as the 12 tribes of Israel, but the day doesn't come until this man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Now there goes the son of perdition, as I had mentioned before in the book of John, and where it was referring to Judas Iscariot. But this isn't speaking of Judas Iscariot being revealed. The man of sin being revealed, the son of perdition, is the Judas tribe that I'm speaking of. They're misleading our people. The son of perdition, or the son of damnation. That's the Negroes from the Dan tribe, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So they're judging Israel as one of the tribes and exalting themselves above the people. If they believe that there's any profit in lying to the children of the Most High, then they've exalted themselves above all that is called God. Here in verse 5, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. So he had already explained this to the Thessalonians before, going into the basics of what I had mentioned in Genesis 49, where it speaks of salvation being mentioned after the tribe of Dan. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. So this is the time in the end when he's being revealed, before the day of redemption, before that day shall come where the son of perdition is being revealed. It says here in verse number 6, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. So it's definitely not talking about Judas Iscariot, who is the son of perdition. It isn't talking about the Edomites. This is specifically talking about the nation of people who is among us deceitfully. Verse number 7, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So they've mysteriously added iniquity and added traditions that have that transgress the law. And it says, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So I can sit here and explain to people and tell brethren that we have a tribe of Dan teaching a slack law to our people, teaching us very many different things that are contrary to the book. And people still are going to be taken out of the way by these people. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. As you can see, that wicked, the W is capitalized. It's a capital wicked, because this wicked has been mentioned quite a few times, as I was in Psalms 50, Psalms 55, several different precepts, as well as here in where it says for the mouth of the wicked. Very many precepts in the book of Psalms where it's pertaining to the wicked, and here it calls them that wicked in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Most High shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. So there goes the lying, there goes Satan again, as you can read also 109 verse 6, where it says, set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. 2 Thessalonians says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. So this is speaking about the same nation of people who is that wicked, who is the son of perdition, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. There goes the deceivable, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So they receive not the love of the truth. How is it we know that who is speaking of? Revelation 7, once again, it completely proves who did not receive the love of the truth, who is among us. As well here in Psalms 109, where it says, for my love they are my adversaries. 2 Thessalonians, it says here in verse number 10 of chapter 2, because they received not the love of the truth. And it's because our love, they become our adversaries. They did not receive the love of the truth, but they become our adversaries for our love, because the 12 elect tribes did receive the love of the truth. Verse number 11, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So these people who have had no mercy upon an afflicted, poor, and needy people are under a strong delusion. Now, I've seen this strong delusion precept be completely taken out of context, and it be referred to as any deceived Negro, Hispanic, or Native American following some kind of religious anything that's not the truth. I've seen this scripture be used there, where it's not even speaking of the delusional people among our people who are following our idolatry and not keeping the commandments, or any delusional Israelite. This is not speaking about our misled people. It's speaking of the same unrighteous, deceivable people whose working is coming after Satan, who is that wicked, the son of perdition. That's who the strong delusion pertains to. They're under a strong delusion, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So instead of claiming their tribe and teaching the truth to our people, they're deceiving very many of our people with all unrighteousness in them. Lying, deceivableness, that they're that wicked people spoken of, the son of perdition, who is the tribe of Dan, who are Choctaw, Chickasaw, Negro Indians, and several other Indian tribes who have joined themselves with the enemies of our people and have become our adversaries without a cause, because they receive not the love of the truth. And for our love they have become our adversaries. And for this the Most High shall send them a strong delusion. The strong delusion, as I've mentioned before, comes from Psalms 50, verse number 21.